So in this lecture, we'll go through the non-deterministic finite automata. So before going to this, first of all, we'll have a recap of all the concepts that we're going to see in the finite automata theory. So we're going to study the formal languages and automata theory. The formal languages is nothing but, so we can also say that formal language so formal means in a representative way, we are going to provide input to the automated machines. So that is what we call here automata or automation is nothing but. And we also call this as theory of computers. So this have another name called theory of computers. Computers is nothing but here, and we'll consider it as an automated device. So that means it will take some inputs and will process the whether that particular input will be accepted or not. For example, on the Windows operating system, if you look at, if I say dir start.java, that means we are going to search for any string, okay, but ends with .java. So that means, so this is a simple regular expression, okay, which is a regular expression, and we are supposed to design a machine, and here what are the machines we develop are a mathematical model, okay, which is a mathematical model of the physical machines. So here these regular expressions, or we can say RE, regular expressions. So these regular expressions will be accepted by the DFA, which is called deterministic finite automata. So in which you may be having a starting state like A. So this A will accept it may be a starting state. So this may be a starting state, and upon giving this dot symbol, so this will accept this particular state and will go to the state B, and then upon J, okay, it will go to state C. Then upon A, okay, it will go to state D. Then upon A V, okay, upon V, it is going to state E. Then upon A, so now we are going to state F, which is a final state. So here, this means here on A, you can have any number of strings like A to small z, capital A to capital Z, 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. So you can have any combinations of this, and including the underscore. You can have any combinations of this, or you may not have any combinations of this. So without having any character or alphabet to be submitted. So any number of characters or any number of combination of numbers and characters. So finally, if you have the end string as .java, then it will go and reach the final state. So this
So
is
ये dot
the deterministic finite automata. So we have the languages are the things like this. The regular expression is nothing but it will be having a regular language. That means it will generate a regular language, and the language this particular language will be generated by the regular grammar. So regular grammar means it is a syntax. Okay, grammar is a syntax. So it will produce the regular language. Regular language.
सर एक डाउट है कि ब्रैकेट में डॉट जे ए सर क्या है?
Okay, so that means regular grammar, regular language accepted by DFA. We can say in broad it is FA, finite automata. So this FA can be broadly classified into two categories. One is DFA, another is NFA. So this is a non-determinism. So what is non-determinism? Here in determinism, for one input, there is only one possible state. While coming to the non-determinism, for one input, there may have multiple states. Okay, so this is what is called non-determinism in nature. You cannot predict to which state this input leads to. That is what is called non-determinism. In this NFA, we have another variant called epsilon NFA. So epsilon is nothing but without giving any alphabet. That means there is no alphabet available, but still it works. So that is, sometimes you may be seeing a very old vehicles. Whenever you are going and some, okay, there may be some up and downs in the road, and there may be some. Okay, if it are almost if it fall under the particular up and downs, okay, automatically that horn will blow. Okay, sometimes something will happen. Okay, this you have not initiated that input. Okay, all of a sudden it happened. Okay, without any user input, okay, it is going for blowing the horn. Okay, this is what the epsilon. Okay, without having any proper input, okay, it is directly going into the state. So this kind of things are said to be epsilon NFAs. So these regular languages or regular grammars are accepted by the finite automata. That means the recognizing power of NFA is equal to DFA. Or we can also consider it as vice versa. The recognizing power of DFA is also the same as the NFA. But what is the major difference here? The major difference is the unable to predict the what is the next state in the NFA. And also the recognizing power of NFA is equal to DFA. And also the recognizing power of the epsilon NFA is also equal to the NFA. So we can do is, what we can do is, we can also convert ENFA to NFA. That means we need to eliminate unnecessary inputs. Just like filter unnecessary inputs and we can make it as NFA. So we have in our codes, especially, we have the things like construction of DFA. Okay. Check for regular language to be accepted by DFA. DFA to regular language or regular expression detection. Given a DFA, you need to identify what is the regular expression accepted by the particular DFA. Or for a given regular expression, you need to construct a DFA. Knowingly or unknowingly, we will construct the DFA. That means with some assumptions, that is just a generic or a heuristic assumptions. Like, okay, this string may be like this. Like, for example, you are supposed to construct a DFA that will accept the numbers that are divisible by 3. So what you do is you will form a binary number values, and you will see the pattern. Based on pattern, you try to construct this. This is knowingly or unknowingly. There is no specific rule, hard and fast rule for that. You generally will do like that. So in that case, we may come across more states in DFA than the required number of states. So sometimes we may draw more number of states, knowingly or unknowingly. So we all know that one state means some memory space. Okay. So always we are supposed to design the machine in such a way that it should be very compact and should accept the given language. So always we try to prefer the compact devices. The reason is it has to consume less power. It has to consume minimum number of processing time, and has to perform well. So this is what our assumption is. So, and also the customers who are outside will also prefer the same kind of compactness. Okay. So previously, if you look at in 1999 and 2000, when my father purchased first mobile phone, it will be like this much. Okay, if you put in pocket, it will come up to here. You have to talk here and you have to listen to here. It's such a big thing. Then afterwards, nowadays, if you look at it, it will be under the palm size. Okay, this is you are going for compactness. Okay. Usually people will prefer the compactness, and also the weight of that machine will also decreases. So at the time, that weight will be of around half kg. And now within 150 grams and 100 grams also you can get the mobile phone. So always the compactness is required. So the reason we are going to see the minimization of DFA. So knowingly or unknowingly we'll construct DFA. We'll try to minimize the DFA to have the compactness. Then construction of NFA. Then construction of ENFA, that is epsilon NFA. Conversion of epsilon NFA to NFA. Conversion of NFA to DFA. So making the non-determinism to the determinism. So thereby, especially in the electronic circuits and all, we'll try to avoid unnecessary loops or unnecessary circuits that are present in the device. So these are the main things that we are going to see. So in this, if you have given epsilon NFA and ask you to construct DFA, then you go for epsilon NFA to NFA, then NFA to DFA. Anyhow, if you go for the union operation and all, then obviously if you concise the epsilons, if you take out the epsilons, whatever the left over is the remaining alphabets that you are going to be read, right? So this is what thing we are going to see here. Then we are going to see the languages such as, this is the regular language or regular expression. You can say this regular expression is accepted by DFA or NFA. because the recognizing power of NFA and DFA are equal. And the regular grammars are linear in nature. So that means, like for example, L is equal to A power n B, okay, where n is greater than or equal to 0. So this is the language which represents the regular grammar. So here the grammar will grow in the linear fashion, either at the right side or at the left side. But there is no recursiveness in this. So if you have the recursiveness in the grammar, if recursion is identified in grammar, then we can call it as context-free grammar. Context-free grammar. So these context-free grammars are recognized by the linear bound automata. Sorry, push-down automata. So push-down automata. So this PDA can be considered as the deterministic finite automata, not NFA, it is DFA. Deterministic finite automata plus stack. Right? Next, other type of grammars we'll be having are recursive grammars or context sensitive grammars. We can also say CSG. So these CSGs will be accepted by linear bound automata. Next, recursively enumerable languages are accepted by Turing machine. But we are not going to see all these things. We are going to mainly focus the things up to this level, conversion of NFA to DFA, and general description of what is context-free grammar. And we are not fully going to construction of PDA or context-sensitive grammar, recursive enumerable languages. So these are the part of compiler design subject. Okay. You will come across compiler design. So here, the main aim of the DFA or NFA is to recognize the language. After recognizing the language, will it produce any output? It won't produce any output. It will only mention, it is only designed for whether to accept or reject the given language. It is not going to give any output. So, but if a machine produces output, then we have two categories of machines like that: the deterministic finite automated machines, which produces the input, which will produce the output, called Mealy machine, and Moore machine. Okay, so we are going to see in our course up to here. So construction of DFA, check for regular language to be accepted by DFA or not. DFA to regular expression detect, that is DFA to check regular expression detection, or minimizing of the DFA. Next one is construction of NFA, construction of epsilon NFA, conversion of epsilon NFA to NFA, conversion of NFA to DFA. DFA or NFA is actually used for recognizing a language, but if the machine that produces the output, then we call that as millimission or Moore mission. Okay. Millimission produce output for every input. If you provide an input, it will produce some output. Produce output for every state. Once the input has been taken, and whenever it reaches the state, then it will produce the output. Clear? So while giving the input, it produces the output, then it is millimission. After transition, it reaches and in a state, there it produces the output, then it is said to be Moore mission. Millimission produces the output for every in, right? What I told is right or no? Right. So it produces the output for every input. So here, if you look at, this is the millimission. So what this millimission is doing is, if you have provided an input, okay, if you have provided an input, for that input, it will provide you output, right? In case of Moore mission, once you have given an input, if it goes to the state, a particular state, then that state will give you the output. So input will be given on the numerator side. At the denominator side, you will be getting the output. So this is the representation. For this, we'll see one small example. Assume a coffee or tea vending machine. Okay. Tea vending machine, rupees 100 ml for rupees 5. Nowadays we are not getting, but assume that. Okay. So now a machine that will take the rupees 5 and will give you 100 ml tea. This is what the machine is. Now let us construct it. We will analyze this particular machine. It must be deterministic in nature. If you give the coin, then it has to give you the tea only. It should not give you hot water or something. Okay, or it should not give you Pepsi or Coca-Cola. It should only give you tea. So it must be deterministic in nature. So this mission must be deterministic. That means we should be in a position to predict what is the next state. So whenever it is deterministic, obviously it will accept regular language. It should be regular expression or regular language. We know that regular languages are accepted by, will be produced by regular grammars. Okay. So whenever this regular grammars and determinism is there, there should not be any epsilon. Okay, just if you simply press the button, okay, it should not give you T, right? So you have to put coin, then press the button, or then only it has to come. So now, whether this particular rupees 5 has to be a single coin, okay? So I can say alphabet set. So alphabets can be any denominations of 5. 1, 2, 5. Obviously in India there is no coin of 3, 4. So we have the coins of 1, 2 and 5. So we are going to take the alphabet set as 1, 2, 5. Now the language to be produced over this alphabet set. So the language, that means this language must be accepted by the vending machine. So I can give you 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 5 ones. I can provide 5 ones as the input. Or 1, 1, 1, 2. Or 1, 2, 2. Or 2, 1, 1, 1. Or 2, 2, 1. Okay. Or 5. Or 2, 1, 2. Right? So these are the possible combinations that I can give to the machine. Any other possible combination missing? So there are so many combinations are there. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay. And 1, 1, another combination. 1, 1, 2, 1. What are the other combinations?
So the previous one, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1 is 6.
So 1, 2, 1, 1. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 1. Like that, you can make possible combinations. So these are the languages to be accepted by the DFA. These are the languages to be accepted by DFA. Now, whenever we can say that this language is going to be accepted by DFA, we can say a language is accepted by DFA. That means by the end of string, the state must be terminating state. So terminating state is represented by a double circle. Clear? Now, this is only the acceptance. Now, where is 100 mLT? Okay. Whenever it reaches the final state, it has to give you 100 mLT. So on each and every middle state, it should not give you any output. Okay, it is not like that. If you provide 1 rupee, it will give you 10 ml tea, and if you provide another 1 rupee, it will give you another 10 ml. Not like that. Okay, till you get the complete 5 rupees, it has to wait. Okay, once it confirms that it is 5 rupees has been received, then only you have to provide the 100 ml. So for that, during the transition, you cannot give you the output. Only after confirming that the required amount has been received. That means at a state where when you confirm that the required input has been received, that state has to provide you the output. So that is what the Moore machine, which produces output for every state. So whenever you have drawn this DFA, so you may have any number of middle states between the starting state to the ending state, and on all the middle states there is no output. So you will be having /0/0 in all the other intermediate states from the initial state to the final state. But only at the final state you will be having 100 mLT. Clear? So that is what the Moore machine is. If you might have designed another machine which may give you the input based upon output based upon the input, then if I have redesigned this particular tea vending machine in such a way that for 2 rupees 20 mLT, for 5 rupees 100 mLT, for 10 rupees 500 mLT, okay, if I have given you like that, then obviously you need to design the machine in such a way that that also you have to confirm first. Actually, you have to confirm first whether the input has been received or not, and you are supposed to give the required. Here it is also a kind of Moore machine. but for every input, if the output has been produced during the transition. For example, you are picking up one electric circuit from real electric circuit and you are switching in some other place. During the transit, you may get shock. This is the output. Okay, this transition, okay, during the transition, if you get the output, then that is milliemission. Okay, so we are going to see these concepts in our thing. Okay. Now, can you draw a DFA to accept this particular language? This is a task to you. Can you design a language for this? So can you design a automata for this? So if so, 2 minutes will be provided to you. Okay. Try to draw on the paper how to accept this language. Draw a DFA to accept the language. Here the alphabet set is 1, 2, 5. The language is, this is the language. Okay. So with this language, I can construct a grammar. Always, this construction of grammar is the regular grammar. So always the grammar will be having a start state. The start state will be like this. Here the patterns like this. Okay. And O means 1, P means 2, and F means 5. Here, this is the grammar. S is always a starting production. In grammar, we will call it as a production. So if I take this production, what could be the output? You will get 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That is 5 ones you will get. If I take this production, TTO means 2, 2, 1. So this is the grammar. In this grammar is generic in nature. It's a syntax. Okay. In this syntax, you can take any production, and using the production, you can produce the language. Clear? So if I take the if statement, so for example, grammar for if statement. So here S is starting state, and you will be having the grammar like this. B. So the grammar will be like this. F. So here B means bracket open. So B means normal bracket, or we can say BO, or bracket open, and here it is BC. Actually, if you have multiple values like this, then it will be actually it's a confusing situation. So always try to represent this alphabets in single term. Okay, like K. So K means the opening bracket. T means it's a closing bracket. And F means flower bracket. Okay. And so here L means closing bracket, closing flower bracket. STMT is the statement that may give you STMT. statement or STMT statement, or we can say epsilon. Right? So if statement, normal bracket open, and statement, okay, flower bracket open, okay, statement, flower bracket close. The statement may be empty. So if you open the flower bracket, statement, you may not, there is no rule that you have to write the statement. Clear? So this is roughly I have written, this is not a correct exact grammar. CFG of C programming or BNF of C programming. The syntax of C in Becker's norm form. This we have discussed during the first lecture. So we can also say specification of the C language. Yeah, look at it. So extended Becker's norm form, we have seen that our natural languages, the grammar of the Sanskrit is by default in the extended Becker's norm form. Okay. So to design the programming languages also, we need to define the normal form like this. We need to represent the language grammar in the normal form like this. So this is the extended Becker's norm form. These are the lexical rules. Here, what are the letters? These are the letters accepted by the C programming. A to small z, digits 0 to 9, ID, letter, okay, letter. So it may be A or any combination of A and underscore. Clear? And these are the character constants, integer constants, string constants. So based upon this syntax rules, program, declaration, semicolon, function. So next is declaration, type, variable declaration. So int A, int B, like that you write, or structure. It may be, the type may be predefined or user defined. So statement, in how many possible ways you can write the statement. So look at if, bracket open, expression. Okay. So that is the reason I told you this is not the exact one, because this is not statement, this is expression. Expression can be combinations, in combinations, maybe or combination, and combination. Statement means it's an individual statement. There is no combinations in the statement. Okay? It's an individual statement, and all this statement must be terminated with semicolon. This can also be possible. This I have not mentioned here. So that is the reason I told you this is a rough estimate, rough way of writing the program. It's not exact one. So like that, you can have the complete thing like operator association for that grammar rule, type rules. So like that, you can also have the BNF of the Python program. Full specification of grammar. So this is the grammar for the Python language, right? So you can also design your own programming language. You can also design your own programming language. Also, you can also design your own compiler. For this, you need to know the theory of automata. Clear? So that is up to you whether you want to go for only the parsing, okay, or you want to convert it into the mission code. So the mission code is you require some assembly language understanding also. Then only you can understand the mission instructions, because we all know that the compiler will convert the high-level language to the mission understandable code. What is the mission understandable code? Zeros and ones. So how this particular mission understandable code can be written? Again, obviously with the instruction set. Like if you have given sum is equal to a plus b, then you need to write like this, add a comma b. So add the value of b into the accumulator and store in the accumulator. So that is the general instruction that you use in the 8085 and 8086 microcontrollers, sorry, microprocessors. Okay. You need to have the knowledge of the mission understanding. And in this, you have several phases. Knowingly or unknowingly, you will write the program. Like, for example, int x is equal to 10. So int x is equal to 10 while x greater than 10, some statements. So if this kind of program has been written, it never reaches the while loop. While loop never executes because you have declared x as 10. So this kind of code is said to be dead code. But the compiler has to take the responsibility of this because it is as per the syntax. If it is as per the syntax, it has to parse it. If I have given you syntax that noun plus verb plus noun, and I have given a statement that Rama eat food. So you have to parse it according to the grammar, given grammar, and you have to check whether the statement is as per the grammar or not. That is as per the syntax or not. The compiler also has to do the same work. It has to parse your given statement with respect to the given grammar. So what is the grammar? Already BNF has been defined. eBNF has been defined here. This will be fed in the compiler. This will be fed in the compiler, and the compiler will be built. This is only one phase of the compiler. Next phase is after compilation, after parsing, it must be converted into the mission code. And from the mission code, it has to eliminate the dead code, which is called optimization. After eliminating the dead code, now the pure form has to be produced in the realm of mission code. That is zeros and ones, binary code. So if you cannot understand the mission code and you cannot do that, okay, you can do the parsing. Till parsing level you can do. So what is this parsing? Interpretation, line by line execution. HTML program is there. It is an interpretation. The browser will interpret HTML code. It will not give you any error, even though you have missed the tags at the end of the program. Till that place, before the error, okay, everything will be displayed in the web browser. Okay, only that part will not be shown in the browser, or it will show you error there. This is called parse. This is called interpretation. Okay, this is called line by line execution. Compilation is not like that. It will take entire code at once and will convert into the mission understanding code, and may produce the outputs like .exe files, or in case of Java programming, .class files, right? So like that, the things will happen. In case of Python programming also, Python is also a kind of a compiled language. Okay, C programming compiled language, Java programming halfway compiled and halfway interpreted language. So you will say Java C space file name, you will get the class files. Java space file, the main class name, you will get the output. So here you are going half compilation and half interpretation to get the output, right? So to design your own programming languages, this grammar is required to construct. So this grammar, because the programming language consisting of the recursion, obviously the context-free grammars will come into the picture. If more recursion, more things are there, obviously context-sensitive languages, recursively enumerable languages, again it will be accepted by the Turing machine. Turing machine is said to be the normal computer. Turing machine is the abstract machine for our computers. Clear? So tomorrow, while coming next class, you construct a DFA for this, so that I can take up this work. Then I will go on explaining this construction of DFA, regular language to be accepted by DFA, how to minimize the DFA, and NFA to DFA conversion, if million more emissions.